Today is June 17th, and today's quote is entitled, Self-Compassion. When tempted to slip into a bad habit, extend compassion to yourself. When you act badly, it doesn't mean you are bad, only that the action is wrong. It's okay to not be perfect as long as you don't give up trying to improve. So this is a real trap when you fail at something, or you don't do as well as you feel you should, or you don't do as well as someone else does. But you berate yourself, and when you berate yourself, you lose enthusiasm to continue, which obviously is counterproductive. And a little self-acceptance is really important. Prabhupada never made us feel bad if we didn't succeed. He just wanted us to understand if we made a mistake, what it was, where it was made, and how we can improve. Berating oneself is actually symptomatic of the mode of ignorance. It's counterproductive in the sense that we become the enemy and we hold ourselves down. So from a spiritual perspective or a Krishna conscious perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Now, to want to correct ourselves makes sense. Okay, to recognize I did something wrong and correct it, that's perfect. That's what we should do. But to recognize I did something wrong and then think there's something wrong with me because I did something wrong, that becomes a problem. Then naturally we think, well, why continue because there's something wrong with me? Then we become discouraged. We become maybe even depressed about ourselves. So that's obviously not what Prabhupada was trying to bring to America, a process that would cause people to become depressed about themselves when they failed. Now, we're trying to become Krishna conscious, so that is not easy, and it's something that requires lots of effort over a long period of time, and there will be ups and downs. So once we accept that, we accept we're imperfect, we accept we're works in progress, we accept that it's a gradual process, then we can flow with the ups and downs, because if you flow with the ups and downs, you maintain your enthusiasm. If you don't flow with them, you lose enthusiasm, and if you lose enthusiasm, then your Krishna consciousness suffers. So in the past, we've talked about the importance of enthusiasm, utsahan, the nectar of devotion, as a requirement for bhakti, and Prabhupada mentions that it's one of the foundational ingredients because it gives energy to our practice. And so if there's no enthusiasm, there's no energy. If there's no energy, either we won't do it or the quality won't be good. So we don't want to do anything, or we don't want to have attitudes which would cause us to lose enthusiasm. And of course, in the Gita, Krishna talks about being beyond duality. So being beyond duality is how you remain determined, you remain fixed. So even though things aren't going well, you remain fixed because you know you can make it better. So if we fail, that's okay. You can make it better. But if you fail and you think, what's the use, or you think something's wrong with you, you won't try to make it better. And then you give up. And there's a very nice saying, the only people who fail are the ones who give up. So I really like that because it's true. Because if you pursue in Krishna consciousness, no matter what, if you don't give up, which is the story of the sparrow and the sand, eventually at some point you'll be successful. Prabhupada said this life, but let's say for the sake of discussion, even if it's not this life, in some life you'll be successful. But if you give up, then how will you be successful? Just like the story with the devotee Mukunda, when Mahaprabhu said, you will get, in 1,000,000 lifetimes, you will get my mercy. And he started dancing. He was so happy. He said, well, at least I know now that I'm going to get the mercy. Even if it's 1,000,000 times, it's worth it. So, we're so impatient. I need to be Krishna conscious now in this life. Well, you can be, but even if you don't, you have the next life. It's not that long. And you can get Krishna's mercy. You can become a pure devotee. That's amazing. So There's nothing else really worthwhile pursuing in the material world. And if you give up Krishna consciousness, naturally you're going to want to pursue something which will only, again, frustrate you in the way you were frustrated previously, which is why you came to Krishna consciousness. So we have to learn to ride with the hills and valleys, so when we're down, we don't lose enthusiasm, but we accept it as part of the process, that before I achieve a higher level of Krishna consciousness, sometimes I won't be so inspired. Sometimes I may feel bad. Feeling bad is okay, but feel bad in a way that makes you inspired. I'm so bad, I should do better. Let me do better. I failed, let me do better. Not in a way that depresses you. It doesn't make any sense. And again, that's being influenced by the mode of ignorance. Whereas if you fail, it causes you to be inspired. You learn something. Okay, let's do this. We have to make this work. That's sattva gun. That's what we want. Now Krishna says determination. That determination which is steadfast. Like a bridge, it's not shit. You can't break it, can't shake it. It holds up. That's what we want. So try not to identify any failure with personal failure, but just see it as something that failed, not that you yourself are a failure. You're not a failure. You're a devotee. That's wonderful. And take advantage of it and keep moving forward step by step, little by little.